Namaste students, Hamesha Khushravitia. I am JV'n's Dr. Neeraj Dholia, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jayoti Vidhyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. So students, today we will discuss the topic, the types of fertilization. So this comes under the subject developmental biology. So let's start. So what is the fertilization? So fertilization is uh, a process of fusion of the male and female gametes. So gametes are the sex cells of the male and the female, and the fertilization process is uh, a characteristics feature of the sexual reproduction. So in the earlier lectures, we have discussed that there are two types of the reproduction: sexual and the asexual reproduction. So we talk about the fertilization in the sexual reproduction only. Here, the two parents donate the genes to their offspring through a process, the fertilization process. So here, the male and female gametes, or you can say the sex cells, fuse to form a single cell called a zygote. Then the mitotic divisions are there in the zygote, and it develops into the whole animal. So the types of fertilization, generally there are two types of fertilization. One is the external, second is the internal. So if the gametes are fused, or the eggs are fertilized outside the body, outside the female body, so it is known as the external fertilization. Generally it is a feature of the aquatic animals. So second is the internal fertilization. So in which the eggs are fertilized within the female reproductive tract. So it is a feature of the non-aquatic animals. Okay, so the external fertilization. So as I earlier told, that is the aquatic feature of the aquatic animals. So mostly in aquatic environments it is found, and it requires both a male and female organism to release the gametes into the water. Okay, so the male and female releases their gametes into the water. So this process of releasing the gametes into the water is known as the spawning. Spawning. Okay, so the amphibians, fishes, and the coral reproduce by external fertilization. So the external fertilization have many advantages because they produce a large number of the offsprings. So there are threats also in the external fertilization. That is, the chances of the predation is there. The adverse weather conditions affects the uh, gametes and the zygote, and other conditions are also there, the fluctuations in the environment, etc., that affect the total successful fertilization and the development of the animal. So the animals that spawn do not typically care for their young. So it is observed that the animals which prefer or which have the external fertilization, they do not care about their offsprings. So the survival of the animal, the developing animal, is directly proportional to the degree of the protection their parents provide to them. Like the some organisms hide their eggs in the sand, some organisms hide their uh, fertilized and unfertilized eggs on their back, on their mouth, on their exact vicinity. So, an organism that is nurtured by a parent stands a much better chance of living. So, let's talk about the internal fertilization. So, the animals that use the internal fertilization specialize in developing and protecting an egg. So, it is observed that the animals which have the internal fertilization, they protect their eggs. The reptiles and birds secrete the eggs covered in a protective shell. So that is resistant to water loss and damage in order to protect them. So this is the inbuilt protection of the animals which have the internal fertilization, the eggshell. So the eggshell uh, protects the developing embryo or animal from various adverse conditions like the water loss, the external mechanical damages, the infections, etc. So monotremes. So monotremes are the mammals which um, which lays the eggs. Okay, so monotremes protect an embryo or fertilized egg within the mother as it develops. So this extra protection increases the chances of survival by supplying the embryo with everything it needs until it is born by live birth. So organisms that internally fertilize, they care for their youngs for anywhere from a few months to several years after they are born, depending on the species. So thank you and hope you are satisfied with this digital session. And if you have any query, please write in the comment box. I will resolve your query. This session is powered by digital version 2, Jyoti Vidhyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Thank you.